So, Abusunya, the aftermath of Chairman Wontumi ne prison now, ya sentencing 20 years, Abusunya, and matters arising. Right now, for the first time, Chairman Wontumi, any spokesperson, and any lawyer, Edin Simbi, Ababe Tuja, wa confirm, say, Sisi, and Chairman Wontumi, or no, or confirm, Mr. Chairman Wontumi, or in NSAWAM prison. Right now, no, ye did not arrive at NSAWAM prison, Chairman Wontumi. Ekwa akotwa ne 20 years jail term na with hard labor. Abusuya lawyer no akasa bebre any prison terms no so no ensem bebre na ebobo e de free or eba lawyer ka say chairman wontumi no nyame di nachi no mo so no ombeye bibia be ma chairman wontumi so no if say ye be release no and I say ye betini ne years ne so and I say ne chairmanship position okono obetumi achieve. Abusuya yanko na yenkonkotie nsema ekoso chairman Wontumi right now no it is confirmed say owo NSAWAM prisoner abusuya answer na be kon Ghana ha say open computer papa na laptop papa na we use abura periodic computers and accessories so and na obinya laptop papa na we using the location enye yirakwan owo Kumase Buokrom Estates Eli friend number na egu screen as na free periodic computers and accessories yenkonkotie ba yede dia kabeto amaso
happened to Chairman Wontumi, his preferred candidate to lead the NPP as its national chairman. For now, he's the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. Dr. Pagro Bachidangwa, good evening. Thank you for joining us. This certainly is not going to be a good night for you and many of the persons around Chairman Wontumi with this 20 years slapped on him, is it not?
Very much so, Alfred. Thank you so much, and a very good evening to you and to your listeners and viewers. As you can tell, it's been a very hard day on all of us. I've been full of tears. I've been thinking and wondering what has been going on. I got lost of myself, not even knowing where my car was parked. Went to court this morning. Myself and Chairman arrived. Very hopeful that victory would be our side because of the cases that we had followed all throughout and the evidences that we had given. But be it as it may, you know the end of the conclusion of the judgment that her ladyship gave. We're indeed saddened and troubled, and praying that God's will be done.
I see. While you wait for God's will to be done, we saw a video of Chairman Wontumi being put in a vehicle after the judgment was handed down, and he was accompanied by some CID officials. We have that video. It's actually 1957 News that put it out. But just take a look at this. And we're going to put that on the screen right now. And Dr. Pagro Bachinankwa, you just tell me exactly where he is right now and then what's happening to him. But this is it. This is Chairman Wontumi being put in that vehicle. This is we understand, a CID Ghana Police Service vehicle, that vehicle moving with Chairman Wontumi in there. Now, let's establish this. Where exactly has he arrived at NSAWAM? I think that should be really what we're looking at. Is he in NSAWAM medium prison, as far as you do know, Dr. Pagri Wachidankwa?
So yes, I can confirm that Chairman has been taken to NSAWAM. So the vehicle that you saw was at a CID headquarters, where I was presently as well, where they placed Chairman in the vehicle and sent him to NSAWAM. And I can confirm that he's arrived at NSAWAM. Yeah.
I see. Any idea of what's going on with him right now after his arrival?
Well, I mean, you know that we don't have any contact or access to him in NSAWAM until we make a visit and find out how he's doing. But I'm very sure that he's doing very well. Chairman is very mentally strong. He believes in God, and I'm very certain that the same God that we all believe in would anchor him through these very difficult moments for him, and also the entirety of the party and sympathizers and well-wishers within the country who have drawn likeness and love for him over the years of his political activity and philanthropy.
I see. This also affects his vision or the dream he has to lead the NPP as his national chairman, is it not?
Well, I'm actually his spokesperson. We believe that there needs to be some interpretation of the NPP constitution as it relates to that. You are aware that campaigning is still ongoing, and they haven't yet opened for nominations, and people have not yet filed for nominations. And so we're still hopeful. Chairman has a large grassroots support within the party. We are not relinquishing on his support base in the party. And also, you should also remember that he's currently the sitting chairman of Ashanti region as we speak now until elections are done in August for a new chairman. And Ashanti region is a stronghold of the New Patriotic Party. And so this is can easily be likened to a political victimization and almost a political prisoner, which is not what you would ordinarily expect a democracy to have now.
I see, but you talk about the interpretation of the NPP constitution to determine whether or not he can still, or there's still hope for him. I mean, what do you mean?
Well, we haven't yet gotten into that conversation. You are aware that this was not the outcome of what we expected waking up this morning and going to court for. And so we are yet to sit with the party leadership. At the moment, the party's major focus is to ensure that the right thing is done in terms of chairman's release and follow through the rule of law. Because if we look at it, we could clearly see some very huge lines of some political victimization. Because if you state that chairman has been involved in illegal mining, we are aware that illegal mining is ongoing now. If chairman has been jailed 20 years or sentenced 20 years, it means every other person that is purportedly to be involved in illegal mining must immediately go through the law and also be jailed 20 years. And so, I mean, for us, there's a whole lot of things that is happening. Which is why we're taking it today as it comes to be able to unravel the matters. But we're thinking about the well-being of chairman as we speak now. That is what is important to us.
I see, but so anyway, before I let you go, when are you going to visit Chairman Wontumi and then s0n Medium Prison?
Tomorrow morning, I would be there. You know, Chairman and I spend every single day together. We start our morning till we both depart to go to our homes to sleep. We have our breakfast, our lunch, our supper together, attend meetings together. And so, yes, I'll be in his home tomorrow morning to visit him and to find out how he's doing. And if there are any few things that I can send to him as well, I would do that, because you're aware that, I mean, like I said, we woke up and came to court expecting that we'll come back home. And so when sleeping places change, you just need to make sure that you prepare very well and then give him what he needs to make a life where he is.
A very loyal associate and servant, Dr. Pagre Boache-Dankwa. Thank you. Tomorrow, when you do visit him tomorrow morning in the s0n Medium Prison, we'll connect with you to find out what's happening and what's going on with him. But thank you very much for joining us. Dr. Pagre Boache-Dankwa is a lecturer and also spokesperson for Bernard Entry-Boisiako, Chairman Wontumi's campaign team that is for the NPP's national chairmanship. He talks about whether or not the NPP constitution is quite clear on what's going to be happening to him. We'll get into it shortly, but Martin Pebu is also joining us. He is a private legal practitioner and also a member of the oral preparatory team. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. First of all, I want to find out from you. You just heard Dr. Pagre Boache-Dankwa talk about, in their view, and in fact, this has also been expressed by the NPP, that Chairman Wontumi is just a political prisoner, having been handed this 20-year jail term with the fines as well. Is that what you also share in? Is he a political prisoner from the lenses that you're wearing?
Oh, not at all, not at all. That's farcical. It sounds as a joke. But I understand what they're doing. You know, they need to galvanize their base, etc. So that's why they are doing this. So this is just for the optics. But in reality, no. Let's show the pictures of the distraction. Maybe that's what will make the message sink when we see the pictures. And at the time of the operation, on 16th and 17th of April 2025, you see that there were about 20 excavators, if not 25, on the land. Then you look at the vehicles, you look at the other machines. It was a big mining site, big one. So it's not a joke. Maybe let's pull, TV3, you did a story on it. So people have the pictures of the mining site. If you see it and you see the distraction, then this joke about political prisoner will vanish. I think their best bet would be that, look, they should just accept. They shouldn't try to, what do you call it, cover up wrongdoing. Yes, this is the example of a bad parent whose son or daughter has misbehaved and the parent is siding with the son or daughter. That's not good. What they would need a lot from this current administration is a presidential pardon, but not a pardon as such, but what I actually mean is remission in sentence. We commonly call everything pardon, not a pardon. The conviction would stay, but a remission in sentence. Under our laws, with the 20-year sentence, of course, there are two sentences concurrently, so just call it 20 years. Usually, the person will not serve all the 20 years. Under our laws, we make the person serve 2/3, and then 1/3 is remitted. Now, this 2/3, so if you do 20 divided by 3, you would get about 6 point something for each one. So when you put it together, you are getting about 13.7 thereabout years for that he will serve. So the remaining one will be thrown away. So out of this 13 point something he would serve, the president can give a further remission. So you see, earlier in the day, I've been talking about they asking for a remission after he served anywhere between 5 and 7 years, if he's given a remission in sentence, but with a big rider that he should contribute to the reclamation of the destroyed forest, if not completely pay for it. So he should try, his legal team, they should put together consultants, engage with the Minerals Commission, then they will pay as much as they can for the reclamation. So that, as I said, 5 years from now, when they put in an application to the then president, I believe that will be another NDC this person, because that will be after the 2028 elections. So somewhere around that time, when they put in the application for remission of sentence to the president for leniency, and they can show that, after the conviction, he's helped to reclaim the land, etc., I think he can be given a remission in sentence, and the Ghanaian people may accommodate that remission. That's better than this noise they are making about he's not guilty, he's a political prisoner. It's all politics. It's not real.
I see. On the matter of the land reclamation, which you talk about, the NPP minority references in their statement, they say that, and in fact, one of the lawyers of Chairman Wontumi as well did reference it, that throughout the trial, the prosecution did not produce any documentary evidence about the deed of assignment that Chairman Wontumi gave to the prosecution witness to, as it were, undertake illegal mining on this Akonta mining concession in the Samurai Boy forest, and that it was just a verbal, agreement whatsoever, and that Chairman Wontumi says he told the prosecution witness to go and undertake reclamation and plant coconut, not to go and do illegal mining. And the prosecution witness too says, well, you told me to go and do mining as well. And from where you sit, will Chairman Wontumi's lawyer's position suffice in law that to the extent that, look, there was no deed of assignment, nothing documentary to show that Chairman Wontumi told this person to go and do illegal mining, and so there's no basis for what he's being charged for?
Not at all. Not at all. In law, that reminds me, there's a popular saying, maybe the lawyers forgot. There's a popular saying in law that an agreement for a lease is as good as a lease. You hear the popular English case, Walsh and Lonsdale. Walsh and Lonsdale. I'm sure they didn't think about it at the time they were saying so. Wontumi doesn't deny, you see, you read the judgment, etc. It doesn't deny that he gave the concession to Henry Okum, right, and Michael Eyisi Jedu. But actually, he gave it to Okum, and Michael Eyisi Jedu works for Henry Okum. Right? He doesn't deny, but he says that he asked Okum to reclaim the land. To reclaim the land means somebody else had mined, or even if not mined, let's say used it that the land is in a bad shape. So they need to make it be able to regrow vegetation, etc. So he said he gave him, Wuntumi's defense, that he gave him the land to reclaim, but he didn't pay. He said in order to pay for that reclamation, Henry Okum should plant coconut trees. And I don't know the gestation of coconut trees. It's certainly the ones I know. It's not less than 5 years. So he's giving him whatever years it is, but coconut is not 1 year or 2 years. Okay, I don't want to be committed on a number of years. But he's saying that when the coconuts mature, then Henry Okum can plug, sell, and pay himself. That's a cock and bull story. Absolutely cock and bull. That's why his defense fell apart. So this thing that there's no written agreement, every law student, I think from the level 300 or so, if not 200, they become familiar with the property law principle that an agreement for a lease is as good as the lease itself. So once you agree, even if you don't write it down, you will be caught, because the law will not allow you to commit fraud. That you can use your mouth to promise a lease or an assignment to Dennis Wedam Puabiri, and then when it suits you, this same grantor, maybe let's say Abdallah, then he'll change his mouth and decide to give it to you, Miss Okansi, because you can pay more money. No, 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 no. We don't allow fraud in law. When you open your mouth and make that promise, once everything else shows that you were serious, it was not a joke, you will be bound by it, notwithstanding that there's no written document. I'm sure they had forgotten that principle at the time they were saying that there was no written document. An agreement for a lease is as good as a lease. Old English law principle that we've adopted in countless Ghanaian cases. Hey, otherwise, you know the kind of fraud that will be perpetrated if the person can speak with his mouth, and then tomorrow he can change. No, 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 no. You can't.
The appeal process going in the coming days? That is, if they decide to go ahead with this decision they have communicated today.
Are right. I cannot pronounce that the appeal will fail or otherwise, except I'm confident that with this distraction that took place, the state has a very good case. Yeah, very, very solid case. But let's see what the appeal can generate. So it's within their rights. But immediately, apart from also appealing, he also, as soon as he files a notice of appeal, he can also apply for bail pending appeal. But the standard is far higher. You see, when a case starts, a fresh case in the trial court, because of the constitutional presumption of innocence until proven guilty, it's easy to get bail when the case is when it starts, the trial court, when the court has not yet finished. But in our law, the moment the court convicts the accused, when he wants bail pending appeal, the threshold is higher than at the trial court. So he has a huge hurdle to clear to show that the judge got it wrong, etc. Oh, but today, hearing Justice Audrey Kokuvite, she sounded very persuasive. Her judgment was lucid, very clear. She took her time, covering every ground, inch by inch, very comprehensive. But well, we'll leave Wontumi to, we'll see how the appeal goes.
We certainly will see how the appeal goes. Thank you for joining us. Martin Pebble is private legal practitioner. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. But let me just give you an idea of the Summer Boy Township and how it's looking. A few weeks ago, when there was some rains, there was massive flooding in the area, and a number of the residents in that community. This is it. They attributed the flooding in the area to illegal mining activities in that Samreboy area. The whole township drowned under the flood waters. It's never happened before in the history of that town, and all as a result of the activities of illegal mining in that particular town. And so it's a big issue for them, and some of them have been sharing their thoughts with us. You see that the main road that connects Samreboy to Enche also affected by the floods a few weeks ago, and the illegal mining activity that's taken place in there. It's not looking good as well. So it's a big concern for them. This is one that will take our attention for the most.
So abusua winning and some a course so our political highway. So chairman Wontumi and a spokesperson out and so any lawyer and honsem and the two edemaya chairman Wontumi afedie on any yankopon and temno on any be or any yankopon betting tama and ye easy. But I'm some Japanese cocoa teaser and some way edemaya ha gossip politics TV so.